This is day 6 of the Dr. Joe Advanced Workshop, April 2019, Mallorca. We have done 2 coherence healings so far, and there were some testimonials today, and there were actually people who healed themselves in one healing. Some people have done meditations at home, but some of them actually did heal just within one healing, and these are people who have done many operations, and these things didn't work. With all the goodwill of the doctors, these people could not be healed because it was all about the settings of the autonomic nervous system that we had to reset, and we did that with going into coherence with the whole group, and by connecting with the unified field and really correcting the blueprint of the, let's say, the disease or the error in the information with our intention. And we didn't do something special. We just applied the formula as Dr. Joe said it, and I can only say these healings are so beautiful and so moving that we have to move as a whole collective into love and into oneness with everybody and the all. And then from that point of love, we have to channel information and order into the fields of the people that were being healed. And a lot of these people, so to give you the numbers, there were 1,400 people, there were 700 applications, and only the people that really had something very serious were selected to be healed. And it's so moving that we all are doing this for strangers. And it's so interesting that we find ourselves in a group with complete strangers, and we all become one, and we go into the field, we connect, synchronize, and we send healing. And in my group, there's so much love. I only know one person in the group, and definitely we didn't know the woman who was being healed. But we were all crying. And why were we crying? I think we were crying because when we open our hearts and we feel the love of everybody, we feel the oneness, and we understand that we can change somebody's life, a complete stranger that needed us, and we come from that place of selflessness. That is the most beautiful thing we can do. I think the more that we learn, the more that we know that so many things in our lives we have complete wrong ideas. So often when we come from survival programs and we come from the survival lower emotions, we see others as competition, as the enemy. But actually when we start to evolve ourselves and we overcome ourselves, we overcome our programming, our survival programs, the state of survival that we live in, the programs of lack, the programs of not being worthy, when we start overcoming them and we start seeing how beautiful we all are and how divine we all are and how divine we are, we start having this reverence and respect for life. We have compassion for the programs of others, and we just focus on working on ourselves. And from that place, we're not interested in judging. We're not interested in controlling and manipulating and trying to change others. We just want to fall in love with who we are becoming We know that it is so hard to change ourselves and that we still fall back into programs so often, and that all we have to do is every moment, day by day, just to observe ourselves. Are we living in a state of survival, or are we living in a state of creation? Are we coming from a place of lack, or are we coming from a place of knowing and surrendering that whatever we can think of, when it comes from a higher intention, from an elevated thought, an elevated emotion, very often can surrender it to the divine, and the divine will give it to us. We had a teaching about the mystical today, and it really made me realize how much of the mystical is in my own life. I shared the manifestations in my life, and I haven't shared everything because some of them are so personal and so deeply healing to me, and maybe one day I'll share it, but it was so meaningful, but so personal, but it was like the most bizarre thing that could happen that happened, and I realized mystical things are happening all the time when we open our eyes, and it's so important that we overcome our programs, our analytical mind, because when we stop just relying on the analytical mind and we start tuning into these high frequencies, we notice more things. We get downloads for business ideas, or for things that we want to do, or for people we need to contact, or these people contact us, or we meet these people. It's like when you have more capacity to read the information in the field, you just have more awareness of what is right for you, and you can just let go of the things that are not right for you. And you can also give yourself the freedom to really rely on yourself, because you know that we never have to come from a place of lack. We never have to come from a place of not deserving, because we're all deserving, but we all walk our journey of overcoming the rules we have for not being deserving, or not being ready, or not being good enough. It's such a human condition that we somehow have to struggle and suffer and have to go through all these layers of illusions to actually come to where we are, which is, realizing that we have supernatural powers, that we can overcome ourselves, and that we are not the past, we are not the programs, we are not the results we have in our lives. We can change ourselves, and therein lies all the power to change ourselves from the inside out, and that nobody can take these things away from us. Anything that we change from the inside out, the joy, the love, the courage, the nobility, the inspiration, the caring, the compassion, the divine characteristics and traits that we can cultivate when we get out of our conditioned self. These things are ours to keep, and they're ours to take with us. And if we assume that we have eternal life, that we don't die, but that we come back over and over again, what else can we take with us than all of these amazing gifts that we can take into a next adventure? And if we do not change these programs, we'll have to repeat these lessons again, and we only have to live with ourselves for eternal life. And so that is the biggest reward. It is not about the car, it is not about getting the partner, the soulmate, is not about getting that dream job or the funding for your company or that award or the recognition. These are all side effects of you honoring yourself and you getting closer to yourself. What is so beautiful is that it's so, what I found, and everybody realized this, it's so easy to fall in love with human beings at their best. Everybody, and I have goosebumps now, everybody that I've met, they have such sincerity and such open hearts, and they have such integrity, understanding that they do have programs, that they are their worst enemy, and that they have complete responsibility for the results in their lives and the destiny that they will choose. And some of them, still have fears, less certainty because they just started this path, but they are encouraged by all the stories and the testimonials of people who heal their lives and who take control in their own hands by creating their lives and using the tools that we've been given. Anyways, if you can be part of this, you will not regret it. You will learn so much. Your eyes will be open. You will start to crave knowing more about who you are, and you will crave to be part of a movement that is redefining what normal is, redefining what superhuman is, and knowing that being superhuman isn't like, for a superhero book or something. It's just for normal human beings like us. We're human beings, and at the same time, there's so much that we don't know about ourselves. And let's be open to the miraculous, to the mystical, to the healer, to be the master of our own lives. I have to wake up tomorrow again at 3 a.m., which is the best thing about these retreats. Thank you for listening. Thank you for doing the work. Bye-bye.